The vast chamber of the Galactic Concord headquarters fell silent as Admiral Vrax stepped toward the holographic display. His scaled skin gleamed under the artificial lights as he pointed one clawed finger at the small cluster of dots moving across the star map. "This," he said with obvious disdain, "is what our border sensors detected entering Concord space 3 days ago." The Admiral's voice carried easily through the chamber. 12 vessels of unknown origin. Primitive design. Minimal weapons signatures. Not worth our concern. The assembled representatives of 57 spacefaring civilizations murmured among themselves. Most seemed to share the Admiral's assessment. Director Lorne of the Diplomatic Corps leaned forward in his seat. Unlike the imposing Taurians with their warrior culture, Lorne's people were known for caution and careful analysis. "Have we attempted communication?" Lorne asked. Vrax made a dismissive gesture. "They respond to standard hailing frequencies, but their messages are simplistic. Their technology appears to be early space age at best." The image zoomed in, showing grainy visuals of the approaching ships. They were small, boxy vessels with none of the elegant design that marked advanced civilizations. "What do they call themselves?" another representative asked. "Humans," Vrax replied, pronouncing the word awkwardly. "From a system they call Sol, unregistered in our database. The council leader, a being of swirling light contained within an environmental suit, spoke next. "We should follow standard protocols for first contact situations." Vrax snorted. "I recommend minimal resources be allocated to this tiny fleet." He emphasized the words with obvious mockery. "My battle group can handle any issues while continuing our patrol of the Rigel sector." Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Commander Jack Miller stood on the bridge of the Earth ship Horizon, flagship of humanity's first deep space exploration fleet. The view screen showed star patterns unlike anything visible from Earth, a constant reminder of how far they had traveled. "Status report," Miller said, his voice calm despite the tension everyone felt. Lieutenant Tom Davis looked up from his console. "The alien vessel is still holding position at the edge of our sensor range. They've been there for nearly 6 hours." Miller nodded. It was exactly what he expected. "They're watching us, analyzing our capabilities, or lack thereof," Officer Anna Reed added with a slight smile. "At least that's what they think." The bridge crew shared knowing looks. The fleet's appearance was deliberately misleading, a strategy developed over centuries of human history. Davis checked his readings again. "Sir, I'm detecting energy signatures consistent with advanced scanning technology. They're trying to look inside our ships." "Let them try," Miller said. "Are the deflectors working as designed?" "Yes, sir. They're seeing exactly what we want them to see." The 12 ships of the human fleet continued their steady approach through alien space. To outside observers, they appeared to be simple exploration vessels with basic propulsion and defensive systems. The truth was far different. "New contact," Reed announced suddenly. "Much larger vessel approaching from the inner system. Based on energy output, it's at least 5 times the size of our largest ship." Miller watched as the massive alien ship grew larger on the view screen. Its design was impressive. Flowing lines of what appeared to be living metal wrapped around a central core that glowed with power. "Open a channel," he ordered. "Let's see what they have to say." The screen flickered, and for the first time, humanity came face to face with an alien intelligence. The being was tall and slender with 4 arms and iridescent skin that shifted colors as it moved. "I am Ambassador Lorne of the Galactic Concord," the alien said in perfect English, their translator clearly advanced. "You have entered Concord space without authorization." Miller stepped forward. "I am Commander Miller of Earth. We are an exploration fleet seeking peaceful contact with other civilizations. Earth is unknown to us," Lorne replied. "Your technology appears limited." Miller smiled slightly. "We are a young species, still finding our way among the stars." What Lorne and the Concord didn't know, What Admiral Vrax had dismissed without a second thought was that appearances could be deceiving. The tiny fleet carried within it the culmination of humanity's greatest technological achievements, hidden carefully behind a facade of simplicity. And soon, the Galactic Concord would learn never to underestimate humans. Ambassador Lorne's vessel, the Celestial Dialogue dwarfed the human ship as they approached each other in the neutral space designated for their meeting. The alien craft gleamed with a pearlescent finish that seemed to shift colors with every movement, a stark contrast to the utilitarian design of the human shuttle. "Quite primitive, isn't it?" Lorne's aide remarked, watching the human craft through the viewscreen. Lorne tilted his head thoughtfully. "Perhaps, but I've learned in my centuries of diplomatic service that appearances can be misleading." The human shuttle docked with surprising precision to the Concorde vessel's external meeting chamber, a transparent bubble extending from the ship's main body, designed specifically for first contact situations. Inside the chamber, Commander Miller and two officers waited as the airlock cycled. When the door finally opened, Ambassador Lorne entered with a small entourage. The alien diplomat was even more impressive in person, nearly 7 feet tall with shimmering skin that rippled with colors expressing emotional states. "Commander Miller," Lorne said with a formal bow, "welcome to Concorde Space." Miller returned the gesture. "Thank you for meeting with us, Ambassador. We're honored to make contact with the Galactic Concorde." The meeting room featured a circular table with chairs designed to accommodate various body types. As they sat, Lorne noted how at ease the humans seemed despite this being their first alien encounter. "I must admit," Lorne began, "we find it unusual that your species has ventured this far with such modest technology." Miller smiled. "We work with what we have. Earth believes in practical solutions. And what brings you to this sector? Your vessels seem ill-equipped for long-range exploration." "We're curious by nature," Miller replied. "Our mission is to map new regions and establish peaceful contact with other civilizations." One of Lorne's aides slid a data tablet forward. "We've prepared information about the Concorde, our member species, territories, and basic laws. You should know that this region is under Taurian protection." "Taurian?" Miller asked, though his eyes revealed he already knew the answer. "Admiral Vrax's people," Lorne explained. "They're one of our more militaristic member species. They've been expanding their influence in recent years." Miller nodded, absorbing this confirmation of what human intelligence had already suspected. "And how do other Concorde members feel about this expansion?" The question caught Lorne off guard. Most new species were too overwhelmed with first contact protocols to inquire about Concorde politics. The ambassador's skin briefly flashed a deep blue. "Surprise. The Concorde operates on consensus," Lorne replied carefully. "All major decisions require agreement among member representatives. But some voices carry more weight than others, I imagine," Miller pressed. Before Lorne could respond, one of his aides interrupted. "Our scanning teams report difficulty analyzing your vessels. Your shielding technology seems to interfere with standard procedures." "Our apologies," Miller said with practiced innocence. "Our systems sometimes generate unusual energy fields. Nothing intentional, I assure you." Lorne studied the human commander closely. There was something different about these humans, a confidence that belied their seemingly primitive technology. "Commander Miller," Lorne said, changing tactics, "the Concorde has established protocols for integrating new species. If Earth wishes to join, you would need to share your technological achievements and cultural information." Miller smiled again. "We're open to cultural exchange, but Earth policy restricts sharing certain technologies until we better understand potential partners." "A wise precaution," Lorne admitted, his skin shifting to a thoughtful green. "Though unusual for a species at your apparent development stage." The meeting continued for hours. Miller asked pointed questions about Concorde history, Taurian expansion policies, and defensive capabilities, all phrased innocently but revealing a strategic mind gathering intelligence. As the humans prepared to return to their ship, Lorne pulled Miller aside. "Commander, I sense there's more to your fleet than meets the eye," the ambassador said quietly. Miller's expression remained neutral. "We're just explorers, Ambassador. Simple humans looking to make friends among the stars." "Perhaps," Lorne replied. "But I've noticed your questions focus heavily on Taurian military movements. Are you certain you're merely explorers?" The Taurians seem to hold significant influence. It would be foolish not to understand the strongest player in a new region. As Miller departed, Lorne's skin rippled with concerned purple hues. These humans were either exceptionally naive or exceptionally clever. He suspected the latter, and wondered what secrets the tiny fleet might be hiding. The Concorde surveillance vessel Silent Observer drifted in the shadow of a small moon, its advanced cloaking systems rendering it virtually invisible to standard detection methods. On its bridge, Captain Zek monitored the human fleet with growing frustration. "Try the quantum resonance scanner again," he ordered, mandibles clicking with irritation. His technical officer adjusted controls on a glowing console. "Captain, we've tried every scanning frequency in our database. Something about their hull composition is blocking our efforts." "Impossible," Zek hissed. "Their technology is primitive." Admiral Vrax was clear about this. The officer's antennae drooped slightly. "Sir, with respect, our scans show power readings that don't match their visible propulsion systems. There's more to these ships than we can see." Zek's compound eyes narrowed. This simple assignment, to gather intelligence on the human vessels, was proving unexpectedly difficult. Aboard the human flagship Horizon *, Lieutenant Davis monitored the alien surveillance efforts with quiet amusement. "They've switched to quantum resonance scanning," he reported to Commander Miller. "That's the 5th different method they've tried in the last hour." Miller nodded, studying the tactical display showing the alien vessel's position. "And our countermeasures?" "Working perfectly, sir. The adaptive shielding is feeding them exactly what we want them to see." Officer Reed joined them at the console. "Commander, we're also detecting a smaller vessel approaching from the Taurian sector. Highly advanced stealth technology, but our gravimetric sensors picked it up immediately." "A stealth ship?" Miller raised an eyebrow. "Seems our friends are getting nervous." "Should we acknowledge that we've detected them?" Reed asked. Miller considered this for a moment. "No. Let's show them just enough to make them curious, but not enough to reveal our full capabilities." He turned to the communications officer. "Send a message to Ambassador Lorne. Tell him we'd like to demonstrate some of our technology as a gesture of goodwill." Ambassador Lorne was surprised by the human invitation. Against the advice of his security team, he accepted and returned to the meeting point in neutral space. This time, Miller welcomed the ambassador aboard the Horizon itself. As they walked through the corridors, Lorne noted the ship seemed larger inside than its external dimensions suggested. "Your vessel is interesting," Lorne commented. "The internal layout doesn't match our exterior scans." Miller smiled. Earth ships are designed to be efficient with space. They entered what appeared to be the ship's command center. It was surprisingly spacious, with workstations arranged in a circular pattern around a central holographic display. "What I'm about to show you is a small demonstration of human technology," Miller said. "We call it our reconfiguration system." He nodded to Davis, who pressed a sequence of controls. Suddenly, the walls of the command center seemed to shift and flow, panels sliding and reforming. What had been a typical bridge transformed before Lorne's eyes into an advanced tactical center with weapons controls and additional monitoring stations. "Remarkable," Lorne whispered, his skin flashing yellow with amazement. "Our ships are modular," Miller explained. "Each section can transform to serve different functions as needed. What looks like a simple exploration vessel can quickly become something quite different." Lorne's aide whispered urgently in his ear, and the ambassador's skin darkened with concern. "Is something wrong?" Miller asked innocently. The Taurian stealth vessel observing your fleet has just been detected by our systems, Lorne admitted. They weren't authorized to deploy such technology in this sector. Miller nodded as if this were news to him. I see. Well, perhaps we should continue our discussion another time. It seems Admiral Vrax is very interested in our little fleet. As Lorne prepared to leave, Miller added casually, by the way, please tell whoever is operating that stealth vessel that their port side graviton emitter is slightly out of alignment. It creates a small but detectable distortion field. Lorne stared at Miller in shock. You can detect their stealth technology. Just a lucky observation, Miller replied with a slight smile. After Lorne departed, Reed approached Miller on the bridge. Do you think we showed them too much? She asked. Miller shook his head. Just enough to make them reconsider their assessment, but not enough to reveal our true capabilities. The Taurians need to understand we're not as helpless as they believe. In the darkness of space, the human fleet continued its careful dance of revelation and concealment, while in the Concord headquarters, reports of their unexpected technological prowess began to spread like wildfire. Admiral Vrax paced the command deck of his flagship, the Imperial Talon *. The latest reports from the surveillance teams lay scattered across the tactical table, each one contradicting his initial assessment of the human fleet. These readings cannot be correct, he growled, slamming a clawed fist onto the table. 12 primitive vessels do not simply appear in Concord space with technology that evades our best detection systems. His second-in-command, Commander Drell, stood at attention nearby. The evidence is difficult to dispute, Admiral. The humans have capabilities beyond what their ships suggest. Vrax's eyes narrowed to slits. The Taurian Empire had spent centuries establishing their dominance within the Concord. A new species with advanced technology threatened that position, especially one that seemed to hide its true potential. They make fools of us, Vrax hissed, playing at diplomacy while concealing their real strength. He turned to his communications officer. Send a message to Ambassador Lorne. Inform him that I wish to attend the next diplomatic meeting personally. **********. The neutral meeting station orbited a small, uninhabited planet on the edge of Concord space. Commander Miller's shuttle approached slowly, flanked by 2 escort craft. Inside, Miller and his diplomatic team reviewed their strategy one final time. Intelligence suggests Admiral Vrax is planning something, Officer Reed said quietly. His battle group has moved into position just beyond the system's edge. Miller nodded. Expected. The Admiral doesn't strike me as someone who handles surprises well. The shuttle docked smoothly with the station. As the airlock cycled, Miller took a deep breath. Remember, no matter what happens, we maintain protocol. Earth needs allies, not enemies. Ambassador Lorne was already waiting in the meeting chamber, alongside 3 other Concord representatives. And Admiral Vrax. The Taurian commander towered over everyone in the room, his military uniform adorned with symbols of rank and past victories. Commander Miller, Vrax said, his voice deep and rumbling. At last we meet. Miller offered a respectful nod. Admiral, I'm honored by your presence. Are you? Vrax moved closer, studying Miller with predatory intensity. I wonder if you understand your position here, human. You travel through Concord space, Taurian protected space, with vessels that hide their true nature. Lorne stepped forward. Admiral, this meeting was called to foster understanding. Not. Understanding requires honesty, Vrax interrupted. These humans conceal their capabilities while learning about ours. That is not diplomacy. It is espionage. Miller maintained his composure. We've shared what we feel is appropriate for initial contact. As trust builds, more can be exchanged. Vrax's laugh was harsh. Trust. You speak of trust while hiding behind false readings and deceptive designs. The tension in the room was palpable. Lorne's skin had darkened to a worried purple, while the other representatives shifted uncomfortably. Miller was about to respond when an alarm sounded through the station. One of his escort officers burst into the room. Commander, A Taurian warship has locked weapons on our shuttle. All eyes turned to Vrax, who smiled coldly. A simple security measure. Standard protocol for suspicious vessels. Before anyone could react, the station shook violently. Through the viewport, Miller could see one of his escort shuttles had been hit with a warning shot from the Taurian vessel. "Admiral," Lorne shouted, "this is a clear violation of diplomatic protocol." Vrax shrugged. "A weapons malfunction, nothing more. Though perhaps a fortunate one. Now we can see how these humans respond to pressure." Miller touched his communicator. "Status report." "Minimal damage, sir," came the reply. "Shield systems absorbed most of the impact." A murmur of surprise ran through the Concord representatives. The small human shuttle shouldn't have had shields capable of withstanding Taurian weapons fire. Miller turned to face Vrax, his expression calm but firm. "Admiral, I formally request an apology for this unprovoked attack on a diplomatic vessel." Vrax seemed disappointed by Miller's measured response. He had clearly expected fear or anger, perhaps even a revealing military reaction. "You'll receive a formal statement from Taurian Command," he said dismissively. "This meeting is over." As the Admiral stormed out, Ambassador Lorne approached Miller. "Commander, I must apologize for this incident. The Admiral acted without Concord authorization." Miller nodded. "I understand, Ambassador. But perhaps you should know, had our shuttle been destroyed, Earth protocols would have required an immediate response." "What kind of response?" Lorne asked cautiously. Miller simply smiled. "Let's hope we never need to find out." As Miller departed for his shuttle, Vrax watched from his ship, interpreting the human's restraint as weakness. It was a mistake that would cost him dearly. The stars hung silent against the void as the human fleet maintained position at the edge of the disputed sector. On the bridge of the Horizon Asterisk, Commander Miller studied the tactical display with practiced calm. Red markers representing Taurian warships have been appearing over the past 6 hours, slowly encircling their position. "They're not even trying to hide their movements," Lieutenant Davis observed. 23 capital ships now confirmed, sir." Miller nodded. "They want us to see them coming. Classic intimidation tactics." Officer Reeb joined them at the tactical station. "The Taurian vessels have taken up blockade positions in all viable escape vectors. We're effectively surrounded." "And Ambassador Lorne?" Miller asked. "His vessel withdrew to the Concord neutral zone an hour ago," Reed replied. The message indicated he was seeking clarification on Admiral Vrax's actions. Miller allowed himself a small smile. "In other words, the Concord is distancing itself from whatever Vrax has planned." The communications officer interrupted. "Commander, we're receiving a transmission from the Taurian flagship. Priority channel, directed specifically to you." "On screen," Miller ordered. Admiral Vrax's scaled face appeared on the main view screen, his expression one of smug satisfaction. "Commander Miller," the Taurian began, "you find yourself in an unfortunate position. My battle group has orders to secure this sector against unauthorized incursions." Miller maintained an expression of professional courtesy. "Admiral, we've been engaged in peaceful diplomatic exchange with the Concord. Our presence was acknowledged and permitted." Vrax made a dismissive gesture. "Circumstances change. The Concord High Council has granted the Taurian Empire temporary security authority in this region." The lie was obvious, but clever. It would take days for the humans to verify this claim through official channels. "I see," Miller replied. "And what does this mean for our fleet?" "Your vessels will submit to complete inspection by Taurian engineers. All technology will be documented and assessed. Your crews will be detained for questioning regarding Earth's capabilities and intentions." Vrax's mandibles clicked in what might have been a smile. "This is a generous offer, Commander. Your alternative is destruction." Miller appeared to consider this. "May I have time to consult with my officers?" "You have 1 hour," Vrax replied, ending the transmission. As the screen went dark, the bridge crew looked to Miller. He's lying about the Concord authorization, Reed said. This is a unilateral Taurian action. Miller nodded. Of course, but it gives him plausible deniability with the Concord if things go wrong. He turned to his tactical officer. Status of the fleet. All ships report ready, sir. Combat protocols loaded but dormant. Transformation modules at standby. Miller took a deep breath. Send a fleet-wide message. Prepare for Protocol Omega. Authorization code. Terra Invicta. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. On the bridge of the asterisk, Imperial Talon asterisk. Admiral Vrax watched the countdown with growing anticipation. The humans had maintained communication silence since his ultimatum. Tactical assessment, he demanded. Commander Drell consulted his display. The human vessels remain in standard formation. No defensive posture detected. Our sensors continue to show minimal weapons capabilities. As expected, Vrax said with satisfaction. They know they cannot fight. The countdown reached 0, and Vrax straightened his uniform. Open the channel. The view screen activated, showing Commander Miller on the bridge of the asterisk horizon asterisk. Your time has expired, Commander, Vrax announced. What is your decision? Miller's expression remained calm. Admiral Vrax, on behalf of Earth, I formally decline your demands. We will not submit to detention or inspection. Vrax's eyes narrowed. Then you choose destruction. A foolish decision, but not unexpected from a primitive species. Before you take action, Admiral, Miller continued, I should inform you that human vessels are not what they appear to be. Vrax laughed. Your deceptions are known to us, human. Your scans may be difficult, but we can see your tiny ships clearly enough. Can you? Miller asked quietly. Then he gave a simple command. Activate Protocol Omega. Across the vacuum of space, something impossible happened. The 12 human vessels began to change. Outer hull sections split and reconfigured, revealing hidden components that extended outward. What had appeared to be simple exploration vessels rapidly transformed, nearly tripling in size as weapon systems. Defense arrays and propulsion modules emerged from concealed compartments. On the Taurian flagship, alarms blared as sensors detected massive power surges from the human fleet. What is happening? Vrax demanded, his confidence faltering for the first time. Commander Drell stared at his readings in disbelief. The human ships. They're transforming. New power signatures detected. Weapons systems activating. These are not exploration vessels. They're warships. On the view screen, Miller's expression remained unchanged. Now, Admiral Vrax, shall we discuss your surrender terms? Admiral Vrax stared at the transformed human fleet with a mixture of shock and rage. Where 12 small, unimpressive vessels had been moments before, now floated massive warships bristling with weapons systems, unlike anything in the Taurian arsenal. This is impossible, he hissed, slamming his fist onto the command console. Open fire. All ships target the human vessels. The Taurian battle group responded immediately. 23 warships unleashed their primary weapons, filling space with brilliant energy beams and torpedo streams aimed at the human fleet. Commander Drell watched in horror as their attack, enough firepower to level a small moon, seemed to dissipate against invisible barriers surrounding the human ships. Our weapons are having no effect, he reported, voice trembling. They appear to be using some kind of adaptive shield technology that adjusts to our energy frequencies. Vrax's scales darkened with fury. Launch all fighter squadrons, surround their vessels, and find a weakness. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Aboard the asterisk horizon asterisk, now expanded to its full combat configuration, Commander Miller calmly assessed the situation. The Taurian attack washed harmlessly against their quantum mesh shields, a technology developed specifically to counter energy-based weapons. All ships report shields holding at 98% capacity, Lieutenant Davis announced. The Taurian weapons are powerful but predictable. Miller nodded. They're launching fighter squadrons. Prepare countermeasures, but remember our primary directive: minimal casualties. Officer Reed looked up from her station. Sir, we've detected Ambassador Lorne's vessel at the edge of the system. They appear to be observing. Good, Miller replied. We need witnesses from the Concorde. Tactical, status of the Neural Combat Network. Fully operational, Commander. All 12 ships are synchronized. Miller took a deep breath. Initiate response pattern Delta. Target weapons and propulsion systems only. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The battle that followed would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for centuries to come. The human vessels moved with impossible coordination, as though guided by a single mind. When the Taurian fighters approached, expecting to find weak points in the humans' defenses, they discovered their targets could predict their movements with uncanny accuracy. 3 human ships broke formation, each selecting a cluster of Taurian warships. From their hulls emerged dozens of small, drone-like objects that streaked toward the enemy vessels. What are those? Vrax demanded as the objects appeared on his tactical display. Before anyone could answer, the drones attached themselves to Taurian ships and emitted brief energy pulses. One by one, Taurian vessels lost power, their engines and weapons systems shutting down completely. They're using targeted EMP technology, Commander Drell realized too late. But how did they penetrate our shielding? In the command center of the Asterisk, Imperial Talon Asterisk, chaos reigned as systems failed in cascading sequence. Emergency lights cast an eerie red glow across the bridge as backup power struggled to maintain life support. Status report. Vrax bellowed, but his officers had few answers. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. After just 17 minutes of engagement, 15 Taurian warships floated powerless, their crews unharmed but unable to continue fighting. The remaining 8, seeing the hopelessness of their situation, began retreating in disarray. On the Asterisk Horizon Asterisk, Miller watched the tactical display with quiet satisfaction. The Taurian flagship is attempting to withdraw, Reed reported. Their engines are damaged but functional. Miller considered his options. Let them go. They've learned their lesson. He turned to his communications officer. Open a channel to Admiral Vrax. The view screen activated, showing the dimly lit bridge of the Asterisk Imperial Talon Asterisk. Admiral Vrax appeared, his proud bearing now diminished. Admiral, Miller began, your remaining functional vessels are free to retrieve your disabled ships. We've been careful to preserve life support systems. Vrax's eyes narrowed with hatred. This humiliation will not stand, human. The Taurian Empire will reconsider its position, Miller interrupted calmly. Your attack was unprovoked and unauthorized by the Concorde. We've defended ourselves with minimal force. He gestured toward the view screen. Ambassador Lorne's vessel has recorded the entire engagement. The Concorde will know exactly what happened here today. Vrax fell silent, understanding the political disaster that awaited him. A word of advice, Admiral, Miller added. The next time you encounter a fleet that appears small or primitive, remember this day. Appearances can be deceiving, especially when you're dealing with humans. The transmission ended, leaving Vrax to contemplate his defeat. As the battered Taurian ships limped away, the human fleet returned to its compact configuration, once again appearing as 12 unremarkable vessels. But no one in the galaxy would ever again mistake them for being harmless. The Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Concorde buzzed with urgent conversations. Representatives from 57 civilizations filled the tiered seating, their voices creating a storm of sound that echoed across the vast space. At the center of the chamber, a holographic display showed the battle between the human fleet and Taurian forces, recorded in exquisite detail by Ambassador Lorne's observation vessel. The council leader called for order, her crystalline form glittering under the chamber lights. This emergency session will come to order. Gradually, the noise subsided. All eyes turned to the display as it showed human ships transforming from small exploratory vessels into formidable warships, then systematically disabling the Taurian battle group without a single casualty. As you can see, the council leader continued, events have unfolded that require our immediate attention. The unauthorized Taurian military action against the human fleet has resulted in significant diplomatic complications. Ambassador Lorne stepped forward. Honorable representatives, I was present throughout these events. I can confirm that the humans showed remarkable restraint. Despite being attacked by superior numbers, they disabled rather than destroyed their opponents. From the Taurian section, a new representative rose. Commander Drell, now elevated to acting admiral following Vrax's removal from command, spoke with careful diplomacy. The Taurian Empire acknowledges the regrettable actions taken by former Admiral Vrax. His assault was not authorized by our government or the Concord. Drell's voice carried none of Vrax's arrogance. We formally extend our apologies to the human delegation. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Commander Miller sat in the witness position, facing the assembled Concord representatives. Despite being the center of attention in a chamber of aliens, he maintained perfect composure. Commander Miller, the council leader addressed him. Your species has demonstrated technological capabilities far beyond what we initially perceived. The Concord finds itself in an unusual position, welcoming the new species that has already proven itself militarily. Miller nodded respectfully. Earth has no interest in military confrontation. Our technology developed along different paths than yours, but our goals remain peaceful exploration and mutual cooperation. Yet you concealed your true capabilities, one representative called out. We exercised appropriate caution, Miller replied. History has taught humans that revealing all your strengths to unknown parties is rarely wise. Recent events have validated that approach. The council chamber fell silent as the representatives absorbed this. Many exchanged glances, recognizing the pragmatic truth in Miller's words. Ambassador Lorne spoke next. The diplomatic corps proposes that we extend formal alliance offers to Earth. Their technological innovations could benefit all Concord species, while their demonstrated restraint suggests they would be valuable allies. Murmurs of agreement spread through the chamber. Even the Taurian section, humbled by recent events, offered no objection. The council leader turned back to Miller. Commander, we would be honored to begin formal alliance negotiations with Earth. Your fleet has earned the respect of the Concord. Miller rose from his seat. On behalf of Earth, I thank you. We look forward to peaceful relations and knowledge exchange. He paused, then added, however, there is one thing the Concord should understand. Yes, Commander. The fleet you encountered, the ships that Admiral Vrax mockingly called tiny, represents only a small exploratory force. Earth's main defense fleet is considerably larger. A shocked silence fell over the chamber. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. 3 months later, a delegation of Concord ambassadors stood on an observation platform orbiting Earth. Before them, stretching across the vastness of space, hundreds of human vessels moved in perfect formation, a display of strength that left even the most seasoned diplomats speechless. Ambassador Lorne turned to Miller, who now wore the insignia of Earth's diplomatic corps. I begin to understand why your people were so cautious in our first meetings. Miller smiled. Humans have a saying, Ambassador, judge not by appearance, but by action. We hoped the Concord would come to know us by our choices, not our technologies. A wise philosophy, Lorne admitted, his skin shifting to thoughtful blue. And what does Earth hope for in this new alliance? Miller gazed at the stars beyond the fleet. What we've always sought, new horizons, new knowledge, new friends. He turned to face the alien diplomat, and perhaps to teach the galaxy that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in size or numbers, but in innovation and restraint. As the Earth fleet performed a precision maneuver that seemed to defy the laws of physics, the Concord representatives finally understood the truth. They had not discovered a minor species with a tiny fleet, but a powerful new ally who had simply chosen to reveal their strength when necessary, and not before. The galaxy would never be the same again.